People are trying to get in that sweet spot right now where they beat out the frenzy, but they're still getting that rate right as it's dropping. So if we can keep people updated as it's happening, I think that's really good.
What is your recommendation for someone who maybe purchased over the last year where they're stuck in that 7% interest rate? At what point would you recommend them reaching out to potentially refinance?
Such a good question. We are setting up a webinar. One of our next webinars, Brittany is setting the schedule now, is going to tackle that exact question. We do what we call an annual mortgage review with our clients. I've been falling behind on that, so I got to catch up, to be honest with you. The goal is to keep in touch with our clients and answer questions of that nature. And there's kind of a barometer in the industry that when rates are 1%, 1.5% lower, you should take a look at it. And that's a reasonable barometer, I would say, but it really comes down to a personal situation. There's something we look at is what we call the blended household rate. And one of the statistics right now I heard in one of the podcasts I was listening to recently is that there is a record level of equity available in homes because houses have increased and people have been sitting on those low interest rate loans. But along with that, there's a record level of credit card debt. It's in the $1 trillion range that there's credit card debt out there. And the typical credit card debt is somewhere between 22 and 27% for the rate, which is ridiculously high, right? So we look at what we call the blended household rate. That would be your car loan, your student loans, your credit card debt, along with your mortgage debt, and take a look at combining that together. It might make sense to do a debt consolidation. It might not, because that's short-term debt. Maybe you can get it paid off quicker. Maybe a line of credit makes sense. But maybe like you're suggesting, a refinance makes sense. You can do things such as streamline refinances, especially on government loans. There's no appraisal required. And when rates are 1%, we should absolutely take a look at that. There's no appraisal, no income. It's just a benefit to the borrower, which is why VA and FHA do those loans. But in the conventional world, it depends on your situation. I would take a look at it when there's a 1% and just see if it makes sense.
Okay, I want to recap on that really quick, just because when I was on the other side doing lending, those were my favorite refis to do, were those VA streamlines, because of exactly what you just said. No appraisal, it's kind of a no-brainer. Literally just go pull the trigger, do it.
Yeah.
Like if you lower interest rates. So
yeah, as you might imagine, we're going to be calling our government buyers that have loans that are a year or so old, VA or FHA, whatever they may be, and talking to them about that exact product.
For sure, but that's actually good for us too. Just being that value component of putting out there to our buyers what, because there's a lot of FHA buyers, especially in this area, that absolutely take advantage of that as well. So we'll add to that for those folks to pay attention.
We would certainly offer our annual mortgage review to any clients that you refer our way. There's no cost for that. We'll even do what's called a soft pull on the credit report if they choose to do so, which doesn't impact their credit scores because there's no inquiry and it doesn't cost them anything, but it gives us a little more accurate view of what they look like so we can give a little more accurate answers on what they might be able to do.
Great. Love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of that information. It's super helpful and informative, especially, as people are looking to purchase, refi, do all the things.
People are trying to get in that sweet spot right now where they beat out the frenzy, but they're still getting that rate right as it's dropping. So if we can keep people updated as it's happening, I think that's really good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want to do. Absolutely. Thanks, ladies. Chat with you next time for a Monday morning update.
Have a good day.